Good morning, writers. Today we are going to learn more about letters and how writing and reading can go together. Now, what do we already know about letters? We know letters are from people, maybe sharing excitement, sharing something they love. You might have had a pen pal. You might write letters to imaginary friends or anybody that you might live with. So, remembering your experiences with the characters are going to help us form these letters that we're going to do in writing. Does anybody remember how Jambari acted in Jambari Jumps? What characteristics does Jambari have that we can talk about or maybe have an opinion about? It's almost as if we become friends with those people that we read in our books, those characters. Lots of different books have lots of different characters, but we become friends with them and we start to like them or dislike them. Now, we all have an opinion about characters, and my opinion might be different than your opinion as well. Today I want to teach you that writers who love stories, which is most writers, often write letters to each other about their favorite characters in books. One thing writers often do in these letters is explain their opinions about the characters. And now you can do this too. So there are tons of things that we could write about Jambari and writing about our opinions. I'm going to model and share my opinion that I have about him. Now, what do we already know about letter writing? We know that we need to have the date. We need to have dear whoever with a comma, capitalize the D, and then capitalize whoever name that is. So I'm going to do Dear Miss Carter. Then we also need to know that we need a closing. Your friend, Miss Stein, right? At the very end. And this one happens at the beginning. And then we know about our opinions. We know our opinions are how we feel towards the character. And now this is going to be different for everybody. Some of us can like the character and some of us cannot like the character. What's super important about the opinions is that we share why we feel this way, because, and then give examples. I'm going to model this. Watch how I flip through my book, remind myself of my opinions about the character, and then start the letter by introducing the book and the character, and then saying my opinions and explaining and giving a bunch of examples why I feel that way, using the word because. Awesome. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and flip through and remind myself of what Jambari does. You can also do this if you're using books on Epic as well. So I like Jambari because he's bold. He says, I'm ready, Dad. And he says, I'm a great jumper. I'm not scared at all. But then he gets a little intimidated, but that's okay. I love the relationship he has with his dad too. He lets everyone go in front of him because he's a little scared. He gets nervous, the ladder's tall, and then he decides tomorrow. He says it's okay to feel a little scared, which I totally agree. I can relate to Jambari that sometimes I get scared too. He started to climb up. Now this is one of my favorite pages, how it zooms into his toes and they curl right over the top. That's exactly why I think he's so brave and so strong and courageous. I'm going to remember that I like him because he's brave. He took a deep breath and he goes flying into the splash. Okay. Got my thoughts about Jambari, and the characteristics I said were bold, brave, and courageous. So I'm going to start my letter by introducing the book and the character. But first I'm going to say, Dear Miss Carter, with a comma. I am reading the book Jambari Jumps. Now what's interesting about books, friends, and this is something proper that we have to do, we do have to underline the books. Okay, I am reading Jambari Jumps. Let's go back. Remind myself of the opinions. Start by introducing the book and the character. Okay, so I just said the book. The main character is Jambari. like how Jabari is very brave. He is brave because he faces a fear of jumping off the high dive into a swimming pool. Now, he also doesn't give up, which is important to me because I also never want to give up. I admire how brave Jabari is because he does face his fear. Now, what I also can do is maybe say what I might not like about Jabari, which there's nothing I don't like about him, but we can also extend it and talk about his relationship with others. I love his relationship with his father. His dad is very encouraging to him, which helps Jabari be brave. And now I'm trying to get you to want to read this book, or maybe not read the book. So, if you are looking to be inspired and do something brave, ... then Jabari Jumps. Remember, that's the title of the book, so I'm going to underline it. Jabari Jumps is the book for you. Don't want it to be your friend, Miss Stein. Okay, I'm explaining by giving a bunch of examples on why I feel that way with the word because. So I say how Jabari is brave. He is brave because bold. He faces a fear of jumping off a diving board. He doesn't give up, which is also important to me because I also never want to give up. I admire how brave Jabari is because he does face his fear. His dad is very encouraging to him, which helps Jabari be brave. If you're looking to be inspired and do something brave, then Jabari Jumps is the book for you. Awesome. So let's review. I flipped through the book and reminded myself about my opinions about Jabari and maybe his relationship with his dad. I reminded myself of the opinions. I started my letter by introducing the book and the character, and then I said my opinions and gave a bunch of examples why using the word because. Friends, now it's your turn. Does it matter what paper you use? No. Does it matter who you write to? No. Are you really going to give the letter? You can. But it's just another way of sharing our opinions about our books. And then what do we need to remember about spelling and how to write properly like second graders? We need to stretch out, stretch out every sound we hear. Every word needs a vowel. Don't forget that. Also using capital letters and punctuation to end our thoughts. I cannot wait to see what letters you guys come up with today and sharing your opinions about all of your writing and your books that you're reading with your characters.